What if Anakin Skywalker discovered the truth about Darth Sidious long before Revenge of the Sith? What if the secret that destroyed the Jedi was exposed by pure accident? In the original timeline, Anakin spent years being shaped by Palpatine, guided by him, praised by him, slowly pulled away from the Jedi by the one man he trusted most outside the Order. 0306-607-066. But in this timeline, that trust died in a single moment. Because Anakin did not hear a rumor. He did not sense a vague darkness. He did not arrive too late. He saw it. And once he saw Count Dooku, proud, ruthless, powerful Count Dooku, kneel before Supreme Chancellor Palpatine and call him my master, the war could never continue the same way again. Our story begins during the height of the Clone Wars. The Republic is tired. The Jedi are stretched thin. Entire systems burn while the Senate argues. Every victory feels temporary. Every peace offer hides another trap. And in the center of all of it stands Anakin Skywalker, still a hero to the Republic, still a warrior to the Jedi, still a friend, or so he believed, to Chancellor Palpatine. At this point in the war, Anakin is already beginning to change. He is stronger than most Jedi in history, faster, more emotional, more dangerous. He wins battles others should lose. He does things the Council does not like. But the Council keeps needing him anyway. That is exactly why Palpatine loves him. Anakin is powerful, but more importantly, he is isolated. He feels untrusted by the Jedi. He feels misunderstood by Obi-Wan. He feels trapped by rules. And Palpatine has spent years feeding that frustration like a fire. But even the best liar can lose control of one moment. One night, after returning from a brutal Outer Rim campaign, Anakin is called back to Coruscant for a private military briefing. The Chancellor wants an update before the Jedi Council arrives in the morning. It is late. The Senate district is mostly silent. The city lights stretch forever beneath the dark sky. Anakin should not have been there that late, and he definitely should not have entered through Palpatine's private wing, but the Chancellor's guards know him well. They let him pass with barely a word. To them, Anakin is trusted, favored, practically family. That trust opens the wrong door. As Anakin moves through the polished corridor, he hears voices from behind a half-open chamber at the far end of the hall. One voice is smooth, controlled, and familiar, Palpatine. The other is colder, sharper, older, Dooku. Anakin freezes. Count Dooku should be nowhere near Coruscant. He is the public face of the Separatists, one of the most wanted men in the galaxy. If he is here, in secret, inside the Chancellor's private residence, then something is terribly wrong. Anakin steps closer. He keeps to the shadows and looks through the narrow opening. Inside the chamber, Palpatine stands beside a great curved window, with Coruscant burning gold behind him. Dooku stands in front of him in dark robes, not as a rival, not as an equal, but as a servant. Then it happens. Dooku lowers his head, drops to one knee, and says the words that break the galaxy. My master, the next phase is ready. For one stunned second, Anakin cannot breathe. His entire body goes cold. He has fought Dooku, hated Dooku, lost to Dooku, seen him as the enemy behind 1,000 battlefields, and now the Count is kneeling before Chancellor Palpatine like a loyal disciple, not negotiating, not threatening, serving. Anakin listens in silence as the two men continue. Dooku speaks of battlefronts as if they are game pieces, entire invasions planned months in advance, Republic responses predicted before they happen, Jedi deployments manipulated, Senate fear carefully increased, civilian worlds sacrificed, not for victory, but for pressure, for control, for a larger design. Then Palpatine speaks again, and the final pieces lock into place. He tells Dooku that the Republic is almost desperate enough to accept anything in the name of safety. Soon, the Jedi will be blamed for military overreach. Soon, the Senate will beg for stronger central rule. Soon, the war will reach its perfect ending. Anakin does not yet know the name Darth Sidious, but he knows betrayal when he hears it. And this is betrayal on a galactic scale. The war, the death, the suffering, the friends he lost, the soldiers buried under Republic banners, the planets reduced to ash. All of it, arranged. All of it, guided by the same man who smiled at him like a mentor. Anakin feels rage rise in his chest so fast it almost exposes him right there. He wants to storm into the room and cut them both down. He wants to drag Dooku before the Council. He wants to hear Palpatine explain how many lives he sold to build this lie. But for once, Anakin does not move too fast. For once, he waits. And that decision may be the smartest thing he has ever done, because Dooku is not finished talking. The Count begins speaking about a name Anakin has never heard before. Tyrannus. Palpatine replies with another name. Sidious. The words mean little to Anakin now, but the tone means everything. This is not politics, not war planning, not secret diplomacy. This is something darker, much darker. Then Palpatine mentions the Jedi directly, not as allies, not as generals, as obstacles. He says they are growing suspicious. He says they must be weakened from within. He says one day they will have to be removed entirely. Anakin's blood runs cold. Removed, not defeated in debate, not sidelined in the Senate. Removed. In that one terrible second, Anakin understands that what he is hearing is not corruption, it is extermination in its earliest form. He takes one step back from the chamber door, then another. His mind is racing now. If he attacks, Palpatine may escape. If he runs to the temple without proof, the Council may hesitate. If he confronts Palpatine openly, Dooku could vanish and the Chancellor could turn the whole Senate against him. So Anakin does the one thing no one expects of him. He becomes patient. He activates a tiny Republic field recorder from his belt and places it near the edge of the doorway. The device is small, usually used for battlefield orders and tactical notes, crude by intelligence standards, but good enough. He lets it capture everything it can. Then he leaves, slowly. Quietly, carefully. He does not breathe properly until he reaches his speeder, and only then does the weight of it hit him. Palpatine, Dooku, Master. The war was staged. The Chancellor is part of it, maybe all of it. Anakin's first instinct is to go to Padme, not the Council. Not Obi-Wan, Padme. Because in moments when the galaxy stopped making sense, she was the one person who made Anakin feel like he still could. When he arrives, Padme immediately sees something is wrong. He is pale, tense, shaking with restrained anger. He tells her everything. At first, she stares at him in disbelief, not because she thinks he is lying, but because the truth is too large, too horrible, too impossible. Then Anakin plays the recording. The audio is imperfect, faint in places, distorted by distance, but it is enough. Dooku's voice. Palpatine's voice. My master. Talk of control. Talk of the Jedi. Talk of the war like a staged performance. Padme does not panic. That is one of the reasons Anakin loves her. When he burns, she focuses. She tells him exactly what he does not want to hear. He cannot go alone. He cannot confront Palpatine emotionally, and he absolutely cannot trust the Senate to act without the Jedi. For a moment, Anakin wants to argue. Then he realizes she is right. This is bigger than revenge. Bigger than one duel. By dawn, the plan is already moving. Anakin goes first to Obi-Wan, not the whole council, Obi-Wan, because if there is one Jedi who knows both his strengths and his worst instincts, it is him. Their meeting is tense from the start. Obi-Wan can tell Anakin is hiding panic under anger. He expects another reckless proposal, another emotional outburst. Instead, Anakin closes the door, plays the recording, and says only one sentence. Tell me I'm hearing this wrong. Obi-Wan listens in absolute silence. By the end of the recording, his face has changed completely. The calm is still there, but it is the calm of a man trying very hard not to let the ground disappear beneath him. He asks Anakin if anyone else knows. Anakin tells him Padme knows. No one else. Obi-Wan nods slowly. Then he says the one thing Anakin feared most. This goes to the Council. Now, the Jedi Council's reaction is exactly what Anakin expected. Shock, suspicion, and caution. Mace Windu believes the recording is serious but incomplete. Yoda senses fear and deception around the Chancellor, but admits that the dark side has clouded everything for years. Ki-Adi-Mundi worries the recording could be manipulated. Others fear acting against the Chancellor without undeniable proof could shatter the Republic overnight. Anakin almost loses patience right there. Millions have died in this war. Dooku called Palpatine Master. And still the Council hesitates. But Obi-Wan steps in before Anakin explodes. He tells them the recording alone may not be enough for the Senate, but it is more than enough to justify surveillance and a controlled investigation. That becomes the compromise. For the next 48 hours, the Jedi do something they should have done long ago. They watch Palpatine closely, and what they find terrifies them. Encrypted signals leave the Chancellor's residence at strange hours and bounce through military channels no civilian leader should access. Emergency resource routes are being moved without Senate approval. Certain clone deployments are being redirected in ways that make no strategic sense, unless the point is not victory, but escalation. Piece by piece, the mask begins to crack. Then comes the breakthrough. A Jedi intelligence team tracks one of Palpatine's coded signals to a secret docking platform beneath the Senate sector. Hidden there is a private shuttle, unmarked, shielded, and recently used. The ship contains traces of Dooku's presence. Not rumor, not theory, proof. Now even Mace Windu is done waiting. A strike team is prepared in secret. The plan is simple. Detain Palpatine, seize his private archives. Bring him before the Senate with hard evidence before he has time to twist the story. But Palpatine is not a man who waits to be cornered. He feels the trap closing, and he acts first. That night, clone security across key sectors of Coruscant is abruptly reassigned under emergency executive authority. Senate communications are restricted. Several anti-war senators report being watched. Republic data nodes suffer unexplained wipes. It is as if invisible hands are cleaning the battlefield before the first open strike, and then Palpatine sends for Anakin, alone. The message is soft, personal, and dangerous. The Chancellor wishes to speak with his friend. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Mace all know what it means. Palpatine suspects something, maybe not everything, but enough. Mace wants to refuse the summons. Obi-Wan wants to use it as bait. Anakin wants to walk in and end it. In the end, they do something in between. Anakin goes, but not alone in the larger sense. Jedi teams are placed around the district. Obi-Wan stays close. Mace prepares to move. Temple security goes on silent alert. Still, when Anakin enters Palpatine's chamber again, it feels like walking into the mouth of something ancient. Palpatine is calm, too calm. He offers Anakin a drink, talks about the war, mentions the burden of leadership. He even speaks warmly about Obi-Wan, as if nothing is wrong. Then, very gently, he asks a question. "Tell me, my boy, have the Jedi been filling your mind with doubts about me?" Anakin says nothing. Palpatine smiles. That smile confirms it. He knows, maybe not every detail, maybe not the recorder, but he knows Anakin is slipping away. So Palpatine changes tactics. No more mask, no more slow manipulation. He begins telling the truth, or at least his version of it. He says the Republic is weak, the Senate is corrupt, the Jedi are arrogant and blind. He says the war was necessary because peace would never have reformed the galaxy. He says only strong rule can end chaos. Only power can force order. Only men willing to do terrible things can build lasting stability. Then he looks straight at Anakin and tells him he was always meant to rule beside him, not serve him, rule with him. It is a brilliant lie because it is designed for Anakin specifically. It feeds every wound at once: his pride, his anger, his loneliness, his fear of being held back. But this time Anakin has already seen the truth. He has heard Dooku kneel. He has heard how Palpatine speaks when he thinks no one else is listening. So instead of being tempted, Anakin is disgusted. He tells Palpatine it is over. The Chancellor's face finally hardens. Then the room goes dark. The doors slam shut. Windows seal behind armored plates. Hidden emitters flood the chamber with interference. This was never a conversation room. It was a kill box. Palpatine rises slowly from his chair, and Darth Sidious steps fully into the light. His voice changes first, deeper, colder, sharper. Then the Force rolls off him like pressure before a storm. Anakin has fought monsters before, but never felt darkness this concentrated from one living being. Chancellor, a meaning slang and of a porms. Pizinings and Biana de stamsting. The duel begins instantly. It is violent, fast, and desperate. Chancellor attacks like a predator who has dropped the act after years of pretending to be tame. Anakin is powerful enough to survive the opening rush, but barely. The room is too tight, too controlled, too clearly designed for Palpatine's advantage. Outside, Obi-Wan feels it through the Force. The second blades meet. He taunts him while striking, mocking the Jedi, mocking the Senate, mocking Dooku's usefulness and the entire Republic's blindness. To Sidious, the Clone Wars were not just war, they were proof. Proof that democracy can be steered by fear. Proof that good people can be made to accept evil if it arrives dressed as necessity. Anakin fights harder with every word, not just because he is angry, because he knows Sidious believes every bit of it. This is not a politician hiding corruption. This is a true believer in domination. A man who thinks the galaxy belongs to whoever can seize it hardest. The duel tears through the office. Statues shatter. Tables split. Lightning scorches the walls. Anakin takes blow after blow, but he holds the line long enough for the doors to burst open. Mace Windu enters first, then Obi-Wan. Then Kit Fisto and two other masters behind them. For the briefest moment, Chancellor is forced onto defense, and that changes the whole balance. Now there is no quiet arrest, no secret detention, no careful political play. The hidden Sith war has exploded in the capital itself. Chancellor realizes immediately that if he cannot turn Anakin now, he must destroy everyone in the room and control the story afterward. So he unleashes everything. The next minutes become chaos. Mace clashes directly with Sidious in a storm of purple and red. Obi-Wan moves to cover Anakin. The chamber barely contains the pressure of the fight. Sidious throws debris, lightning, and sheer hatred at the Jedi with terrifying force. One master is killed almost instantly. Another is hurled through a shattered column and does not rise. But this time, the fight begins differently than canon. This time, Anakin is not arriving confused. He is already against Palpatine, already committed, already furious. And that one change is everything. Instead of hesitating at the edge of the duel, Anakin joins Mace. Together, they do what almost no one in the galaxy could have done. They overwhelm Sidious, not easily, not cleanly, but decisively. Mace's control and discipline pin the Sith Lord into narrower motion. Anakin's raw power and relentless aggression deny him space. Obi-Wan blocks angles and keeps the fight from collapsing into disorder. Sidious is still terrifying, but for the first time in years, he is forced into a battle he did not script. He tries lightning. Mace reflects it. He lunges for Obi-Wan. Anakin intercepts. He drives toward the window. Mace meets him with a crushing strike that knocks the red blade wide. And then, in a single perfect opening, Anakin cuts Sidious across the chest. The Dark Lord screams. Mace disarms him a heartbeat later. Palpatine falls. Not as Chancellor, not as victim, as Darth Sidious. For a moment, the room is silent except for the crackle of burning metal. Anakin stares down at the man who spent years whispering poison into his life. Then Mace says the words the Jedi should have said from the beginning. You were right. Anakin does not feel victory, only emptiness, because winning the duel is not the end. It is the beginning of the collapse. By morning, Coruscant is split in half. The Jedi move quickly to secure Palpatine's private archives, his office, his hidden shuttle routes, and every secure line tied to his residence. What they recover is catastrophic. Shadow accounts, false military directives, back-channel coordination with separatist agents. Lists of political targets, emergency powers expansion plans written months before the Senate debates that supposedly inspired them. The war was engineered, the Republic was infiltrated from the top, and the Chancellor was the architect of it all. But truth alone does not create order. It creates panic first. Mastermind tries to control the Senate. Several loyalists claim the Jedi staged the entire event. Some clone commanders refuse to believe the Chancellor was a Sith Lord. Others receive strange half-formed security directives hidden deep in their command structure. The Jedi begin to suspect the army itself may contain something worse than obedience. A something planted. A something prepared. Yoda returns to Coruscant as fast as possible, and once he sees the archives, his worst fears become reality. The Sith did not merely manipulate events around the Jedi. They built the whole war to break them. At the same time, Dooku vanishes. The Count learns of Sidious's defeat within hours and flees into separatist space, taking what remains of the Confederacy's central secrets with him. Suddenly, the war changes shape. Without Sidious at the center, both sides lose their hidden master, but that does not create peace. It creates instability. Some separatist worlds want to surrender at once. Others think this proves the Republic was evil all along. Some Republic leaders demand total retaliation before the Confederacy can regroup. The galaxy is now staring at a truth more dangerous than a lie. Both sides were manipulated, and almost no one knows what to do with that. For Anakin, the fallout is deeply personal. The Council thanks him, but awkwardly. Mace respects him more now, but years of distrust do not disappear in one night. Obi-Wan is proud of him, though he hides it behind quiet concern. Yoda sees how close Anakin came to a darker path and becomes more watchful, not less. And Padme sees something no one else fully understands. Anakin is relieved, but he is also wounded, not physically, spiritually. He had trusted Palpatine, listened to him, needed him in ways that now disgust him. Every kind word from the Chancellor feels corrupted in memory. Every private conversation feels like part of a trap. The shame of that eats at him, but unlike the original timeline, he is not alone in it. Padme stays with him, Obi-Wan stays with him, and, slowly, something fragile begins to grow between Anakin and the Council. Not comfort. Not full trust, honesty. Meanwhile, the biggest secret of all begins to surface. Camino. The archives taken from Sidious include references to coded behavioral pathways buried inside clone command architecture. At first, the Jedi do not fully understand what they are seeing. Then medical teams, intelligence analysts, and a horrified Shakti begin piecing it together. The clone army was compromised from birth. There are hidden compliance measures inside the minds of the soldiers, command-level triggers, emergency obedience channels. The implication is monstrous. Order 66 was coming, not as rumor, not as theory, as design. The Jedi do not announce this publicly at first. If they do, the entire Republic military could fracture overnight, but the discovery changes everything. The Jedi pull back from clone-led operations and begin separating key temple and Senate security from vulnerable command chains, just in time, because one last trap still remains. Before his capture, Sidious had set a dead man protocol through loyal officers inside the Coruscant Guard. If triggered, it would frame the Jedi for a mass emergency takeover and push wavering senators toward martial rule. Mastermind and a handful of frightened military officials prepare to use it, hoping to preserve some version of Palpatine's coming empire, even without Palpatine himself. But Padme uncovers the move first. Working with Bail Organa and a small circle of loyal senators, she intercepts the emergency motion before it reaches a full vote. Then, with evidence from Palpatine's archives and testimony from the Jedi, she forces an open Senate session unlike anything in living memory. The galaxy watches live. Not just senators, systems, military leaders, worlds that bled for years. And for the first time, the full story begins to emerge in daylight. Palpatine was Sidious. Dooku served him. The Clone Wars were manipulated. The Jedi did not seize power. They stopped a Sith takeover already in motion. The chamber erupts. Some scream in outrage. Some deny everything. Some break down under the weight of it. But the moment the truth is spoken openly, the Empire dies before it can be born. That does not mean peace comes easily. Dooku still lives. The Confederacy is still armed, the Senate is still corrupt, and the Jedi now face the terrible question of what they become after surviving the trap that was meant to erase them. But history has turned, sharply, and at the center of that turn is Anakin Skywalker. The man who was meant to be seduced, the man who was meant to betray the Jedi, the man who was meant to kneel. Instead, he saw the truth, and because he saw it, he chose differently. In the months that follow, the war winds down through negotiation, targeted campaigns, and political fractures inside the separatist movement. Dooku tries to rally the Confederacy, but without Sidious's hidden hand, his grand design shrinks into ordinary rebellion, dangerous still, but no longer unstoppable. Obi-Wan is sent to face him one final time. This time, the duel is not about mystery, not about hidden masters, not about half-truths whispered in the dark. This time, both men know exactly what the war was. Dooku falls not as the future ruler of a Sith Empire, but as the last great servant of a dead lie. With Dooku gone, the Clone Wars finally begin to end. The Republic survives, but changed. The Senate is restructured under intense public pressure. Emergency powers are stripped away. Investigations spread through finance offices, military oversight committees, and intelligence bureaus. Entire careers collapse, so do entire illusions. The Jedi survive too, but they cannot pretend innocence anymore. They were manipulated because they were distant, politicized, proud in ways they did not see clearly enough. Even Yoda admits it, and Anakin hears that. For once, the Order is not just asking him to change, it is changing too. That matters. It matters more than anyone realizes, because without Sidious in his ear, without the war consuming every part of his life, without the crushing isolation that once drove him toward desperation, Anakin begins to steady. He is still intense, still reckless sometimes, still too attached, too impulsive, too human for the comfort of many masters. But now those traits are not being weaponized by a Sith Lord. Now they can be guided. Now they can heal. His bond with Obi-Wan grows stronger after the crisis. Not perfect, never easy, but honest. They speak more openly than